I'm Ben Chong. I'm a senior, class of 2012, and I'm doing electrical engineering.
Hi, I'm Arthur. I'm in the college. My major is biology. Yeah, Ben and I met in a biology lab, and one day we just happened to sit next to each other and we started talking about starting a food truck. And then at some point the idea of starting a drink truck came up. And then we just explored further, and then finally bubble tea was the final product, right?
We started by testing out our idea and seeing if people actually wanted bubble tea and whether we can make something good. So we actually started in my dorm room, and we started making a bunch of drinks for friends. And it became so popular that we tried to see if people would actually buy it. So we made a Google Docs spreadsheet and had people order from there.
So after that, we decided that we want to look into a storefront. So we definitely evaluated like starting our own storefront, but then the initial investment cost is too high. So we decided to explore a partnership model. So Ben and I just biked around campus, and then we talked to different restaurant owners, and Marco was actually one of the few who said yes to our proposal, like exploring a partnership together. So then we just kept in touch with him, and then it just happens that Taglio Pizza, which is where we're located right now in T-Bowl, wasn't doing that well in terms of their business. We formulated a plan with Marco together and then launched the concept of T-Bowl with Boba Bros branded inside T-Bowl.
Bubble tea is a kind of a cultural drink, and it's invented in Taiwan. It was basically consists of a few different components. There's a tea base and a creamer, which is either a non-dairy creamer or milk. The tapioca is the texture, and this is where a lot of stores will differ because textures of the boba is very hard to control when cooking and things like that.
First time you drink bubble tea, you're gonna have to like try to suck up the pearls, and it's like a new experience for a lot of people because essentially what you're doing is you're eating your drink. So like you're trying to drink, and then somehow you get this pearls like bursting into your mouth. So one of our staff members call it like a party in your mouth type of experience. Originated from Taiwan in the 1980s. It actually started off as a tea plantation owner, and he decided that he wants to shake up his black tea in a shaker so that it generates this foam on top, and that's where the bubble tea came from. The idea of the bubble is actually that foam on the top of your drink, and we decided to bring this concept to Penn because the community members here really like it, but their only way of getting this product is to go to Chinatown, or a lot of them who came from California, where bubble tea is really prominent on the West Coast, can't taste that flavor here. So we decided to bring some of the most authentic flavors to Penn so the community could enjoy it and share happiness with us. Wait, how did the name come from?
We just brainstormed.
Yeah, we just brainstormed a bunch of names, and yeah, we started from like Q bubble or something. Or wait, no, not Q bubble, but like something that refers to the texture of the tapioca. So then we figured boba is something that's pretty, it's common to us because that's how Taiwanese people call it in Taiwan, like when they refer to the tapioca pearls or bubbles. So we decided to bring that element into our logo and brand. And as for the logo, one of my friends in Taiwan who's she's an architecture major, and she also does 2D design. So she helped us with that. And you can see like the Taiwan island inside our logo. Ben is gonna make a royal milk tea for you guys. Yeah, Boba Bros' mission is to maintain a really high standard in terms of the products that we have, and to make sure that the entire bubble tea making process is completely transparent, so that customers could see exactly what goes into their drinks, and they could customize that drink as well, which is something that other competitors cannot do.
We use everything from scratch. Like our tea leaves are brewed from actual leaves and not some instant teas or things like that. And we're really trying to make it kind of like a science where everything is very accurate and we stick to that. So even our teas, we have to control the temperature of the water. The tapioca too, when we cook it, there's a specific temperature range that we control for. And and also every batch we actually have our employees taste it to make sure it's good, and if it's not, then they have to remake it. So that's something we really stick to.
What this does is that it instantly equilibrizes the temperature of the drink, because our tea was put into a container that maintains the heat. So our tea was hot to begin with. That's why during winter times we could actually offer customers hot bubble tea. We have 4 flavors right now. The first one is royal milk tea, which is the first flavor that we started with when we first opened the store. It's made from golden tea leaves, and then we add non-dairy creamer to it, and then we could customize the sugar level, and we just shake it up with ice and then serve it over tapioca pearls. Second flavor?
Oh, the second flavor. The second one is taro. So we use a kind of a dried taro, and it's ground into a powder that we add to have the taro, and there's a very distinctive taste to that. And it also, because we're using the root, taro root, it gives it a distinct purple color.
So the third and fourth flavor, they come from the same base, which is a jasmine green tea base. So it's made from jasmine green tea leaves. We brew it in the morning. It has a really specific temperature that you have to brew it at, because if you overboil the tea leaves, you're going to get a really burnt and bitter flavor. So we actually have to monitor the brewing temperature very closely. So once we have the base, the jasmine green tea is basically just the green tea with your choice of sugar level and ice and tapioca. And then the jasmine green milk tea is just the same as jasmine green tea, but with non-dairy creamer added. So it gives it a more milky flavor. Yeah. Penetrate the seal with the cut edge of our straws. And then you can drink it. Beijing's appearance has given us some trouble initially, because they came in and they dropped the price of bubble tea to $2 while we're still at a price point of $3.25. So some price-conscious customers would go to Beijing because they may not be able to tell the differences. But after a while, if you compare our products side by side, you'll definitely taste the quality in our drinks, because our tea is brewed from tea leaves, so we definitely have a stronger taste of tea. And they use powdered teas, so they have all these fancy flavors with fancy colors that don't normally happen in the real world. Like they have a honeydew or I don't know, these crazy colors. Those are all food coloring, so we try to avoid that here. And another main differentiating factor is that our tea is customizable. So you could go with no sugar, little sugar, or normal sugar. With them, they can only have one type. It's just a lot of sugar.
In the beginning, the biggest obstacle was actually figuring out how to make bubble tea from scratch. So we really tried to make our own recipes. So we experimented with almost like 100 different things, and we would keep track of what tasted good, what worked, what didn't, and just constantly iterating on that and getting feedback from people. And even validating our idea, At some point, we were on bikes and like delivering it to people, just so we can get feedback.
Another obstacle that we have is the actual partnership with T-Bowl, because the way that this structure is set up is that we operate under one brand name, T-Bowl, but then we have our own brand under it. So we have basically two different management teams. One is for T-Bowl and one is for BOBA Bros. And sometimes the synergy between the two is not that efficient, so there's some clashes in between. So we're in the beginning, we're always trying to figure out the managing people and all these conflicts. So that was a pretty big challenge to both of us because we've never dealt with actual human resources problems before. That for BOBA Bros is, yeah, I mean, we're definitely looking into starting a truck, but the way that the Pennsylvania government does the truck licenses, it's really arbitrary and random. So basically you don't get to pick your own location. So you apply for a permit, and then they decide where you're located. But we think that a product like bubble tea, it's really location dependent. It really depends on food traffic a lot. So that's still something that we're thinking about, and yeah.
One of the most rewarding experiences is when people come up to us and say how they really enjoyed it, and that it shows that people can recognize the quality and like the effort we put into our recipes and how we make our teas.
I've always wanted to start my own business. However, it wasn't like food or beverages related. My dream is to start a biotech company and multiple ones. And well, this opportunity was kind of like, it just happened by chance that I met Ben, who's also interested in doing startups. So I figured this would be a good opportunity for me to practice entrepreneurship, which people don't really get to do in college. Because a lot of startups actually fail. The ones that you see in the magazines or on the websites are the very few successful ones. So I figured if you could practice doing startups, it might raise your odds of succeeding in the future. Even though it's an unrelated field, the process is actually similar. It's a very difficult process.